Our good friend Maggie Vanderberg, also known as Fog City Midge, one of the biggest social media influencers, great friend of mine. She gets out there and starts talking about all kinds of things, but she's going to Biden rallies with a Biden shirt on and trying to interview people. So she's like blending in. She did a great comparison of some Biden rallies versus some Trump rallies. You got to check this out. This is good. Share this with your friends.
President Trump, you're holding large rallies with crowds packed together, thousands of people.
Outside.
Outside, yes, sir. Agreed. Vice President Biden, you are holding much smaller events with...
Because nobody will show up.
People with...
Well, it's true. Nobody shows up to his rallies.
All right.
We do them outside. We have tremendous crowds and literally on 24 hours notice. And Joe does the circles and has 3 people someplace.
Okay.
If you could get the crowds, you would have done the same thing. But you can't. Nobody cares.
Gentlemen, can we move on to the
economy?
Gentlemen, can we move on to the economy?
Yes.
Yeah, of course you don't have rallies. They don't show up. No one will show up. You got the big circles. You got 6 people. Chris Wallace actually got a chuckle out of Trump there. It was like one of the only moments he seemed to be like hearing things Trump's way. Pretty crazy. But if you ever see, check out that video. When Joe Biden has a rally or a speaking tour or something, they got people in these big white circles like the middle of the basketball court where they go for the jump ball. He's got them sitting in folding chairs. And Trump said it best. Yeah, you're not having rallies because no one will show up. No one cares. 66% of Joe Biden voters said they're most enthusiastic about Biden because he's not Trump. What does that tell you? That means, you know, I'm not for Biden. I'm against Trump. And I will tell you this, okay? Everybody keeps talking about this silent majority and the silent majority and all this other stuff, right? The silent majority exists. Those are those folks like me and you. And not me, I'm an outlier because I try to make time in my schedule to do some community advocacy. And I go to these rallies and press conferences. Even if I'm not speaking, I try to go and support who is speaking, and I do it, right? But most people got their work, they got their family, they got their kids, they got their side job, their extracurricular. And we're not the type of people, us blue-collar, middle class, we're not the type of people that have time to go out and protest all day. So that's what they refer to as the silent majority. Many of us work in jobs where some of our co-workers or cohorts or supervisors are big, liberals. So you can't really say you're a Trump person. Me, I wear my Trumpism on my sleeve. But I can tell you this. More than the silent majority of Trump people who don't answer polls but will vote, that's 66% of people who say they're for Joe Biden right now, and they're only for Joe Biden because he's not Trump. Anything else of importance comes up on election day, a dinner with some friends, a date with a chick you've been trying to get a date with for 3 months, they're not going to take their time and go out of their way to go to the polls to vote for Joe Biden because they hate Trump. They'll just let it slide and figure, somebody else will vote. And I'm telling you, with the silent majority, and also Joe Biden, for those of you like in cocktail scruffs with your friends out there about Trump, Biden, or whatever, or Facebook battles or whatever, Joe Biden had to make this Faustian deal with the Bernieites that he's going to adopt a bunch of their platforms, okay? And adopting some of their platforms is one of the number one things for them is the Green New Deal. So all those Bernie voters, and Bernie had a movement, okay? All those Bernie voters, they're barely hanging on to vote for Joe Biden. But one of the signals we got out of the debate the other night was Joe Biden came right out and said, I'm not for the Green New Deal. And that's like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. That's like one of her number one things. And by the way, Joe Biden's running mate, Kamala Harris, she's the primary sponsor in the Senate with Alexandria Ocasio in the House of the Green New Deal. So Joe Biden says, I'm not for the Green New Deal, but yet his running mate is the primary sponsor of the bill. So there's a fracture going on with the Dems, and they know it damn well. And that's why they're trying to create all this other noise, but I don't care. Victor Rukavina says, rule number one, growing up in Brooklyn, no ranking someone's mother. I agree with you on that. I got to give a special shout out to, I think, one of our newer viewers. I see her once in a while, Debbie Giuliano Desai. Did an emoji version, Mike. I don't know if you see that, of I Want My Pillow, which I like it. You get extra points for that, but you don't get anything extra. You're getting put in the random spin like everyone else. Sean Cusick, my buddies out there, the Wolf. And Mikey Edwards was just at the teachers rally with me, and now he's on the stream. Mikey, what's up? And, you know, one of the things my buddy Mike Edwards, former NYPD guy, I played Little League with him. I know him my whole life. Called me the other day, JT, if you can, try to come down to this thing. We're doing a lawsuit, and we got, okay, I'll be there. And I'm talking to Mike today at the thing, and he shows me his phone, okay? And his son's teacher, okay, puts a post on Facebook of, you know, like the little emoji of her, okay? And her emoji has a Black Lives Matter shirt on, okay? So, number one, we got the teachers union shaking down the government, okay? And we have some members, I guess radical members of the teachers union, they're representing themselves on their own social media with Black Lives Matter shirts on. So, for someone like a high school teacher who's really highly educated, I happen to know this person also, I've respected him most of my life, to think it's okay to wear a shirt that says Black Lives Matter represents an organization that is committed to the breakdown of the nuclear family. Black Lives Matter was founded by one guy, okay, he's a convicted pedophile, okay, and two women who are on the record saying that they are trained Marxists. So you got two trained Marxists, and you got one guy who's a arrested pedophile running Black Lives Matter, and their committed goal in their manifesto is break down the nuclear family. Okay, take away identity. So when you wear your shirt for Black Lives Matter, you're telling those kids in your class it's okay to be a Marxist. Think about that, all you teachers out there, even you, Tottenville High School teacher.